Welcome back to another 50 States of Strange, where I talk about the weird and strange in every state, and I paint while I do it. Today's episode is going to be on New Mexico, and it's a good one. We got the true crime, we got the monsters, we got the ghosts. It's a good one. I once again started out on a live, so part of the background of the painting is already done. I might as well just make that a thing. I'm going to say it right now. I'm going to start probably all the paintings on a live first. I for once don't have a lot to say, so I'm about to just hop right into the painting. But before I begin, this episode may have disturbing language and descriptions of crime scenes or things some might find disturbing. So viewer discretion is advised. Other than that, I guess let's paint. First up on the true crime segment is going to be the West Mesa murders. This took place in Albuquerque. Back in 2008, there was a housing development that was going on in the West Mesa area. However, before the actual houses themselves started being built, the construction of everything was halted. And during the time that it was halted, it got flooded and it started bringing things up to the surface. And it just so happened to be that those things were human bones. Then in February of 2009, a woman who was walking her dog in the area finds a human bone and reports it to the police. And so after getting reports of finding bones in this area, the police decided to finally investigate. And I'm sure they definitely were not prepared for the just magnitude of what they found. During this search, they find the remains of 11 women and the remains of one fetus. So one of the women was pregnant when she was killed. And the age ranges start from 15 years old up to 32 years old. It's just absolutely horrible. There was also some ancient burial sites found on here too, because they found some really old bones as well. But I couldn't find a lot of information on that. But I guess that just right off the bat put bad juju on the land. While checking the remains, DNA is actually recovered from some of it, and it belongs to that of Joseph Blea, who is also known as the mid-school rapist back in the 1980s. And this guy is just a freaking disgusting. But I'm going to talk about him because you'll see how this is like a big deal that they find his DNA in this. So this guy is a piece of crap, and he used to follow young women, specifically in the middle schoolish age range, like preteen, early teens, and he would follow them home from school, and he would rape them, and piece of shite. Okay, long time goes by, 2008 hits, and Joseph gets arrested for a domestic violence situation, whatever you want to call it, with his wife. And during this, they take some DNA from him while he's incarcerated because of a law that they have in New Mexico. The law is called Katie's Law, and you're going to see why it is super important to this case in a minute. But let me explain to you what it is first. Side note here on my painting, because you're obviously seeing me paint something, and I haven't talked about it yet. So you're going to probably see a sneak peek at a monster before I get to that monster. My bad. But maybe you can try to guess what it is before I talk about it. Make it a little fun game. Katie's Law is a law that allows the DNA collection of anybody that is incarcerated for a violent crime in the state of New Mexico. So as soon as they get taken in, they get the DNA things, okay? Personally, I think it's a really great law. I think they should institute it everywhere because you never know. You never know. You could be arresting someone and they could be doing some real nasty shit on the side. You know what I'm saying? Especially because they specifically tie it to violence. Like if you are arrested for a violent crime, then yeah, I think by all means they should be allowed to get DNA from you. So from what they can tie to him with this DNA evidence and everything, they sentence him to 90 years. But he tries to appeal this whole thing over it being what he considers an infringement on his Fourth Amendment right. And that it was like an unreasonable search in the way of them getting the DNA. But dun da da da, they have Katie's Law, and the state was like, F you, we are upholding Katie's Law. So yeah, woo, good for Katie's Law. However, somehow he does get the actual sentence lowered, and he ends up only serving 36 years for one of the girls found. But yeah, I'm still kind of confused on that. I could have dug more into it, but we would have gone into a rabbit hole on this case, and would have been a long episode. Is it possible that some of the women that were found here weren't just his victims? Like, yeah, I think that's absolutely possible because of what was going on in the area. But either way, this guy definitely deserves to be freaking rotting. But yeah, this land in this area, I guess, is just reeking with death. I don't like it. It's no bueno. Okay, moving on to the monsters and urban legends of this episode. As you can see, my little creature that I got down in the corner, might as well talk about him first since he's already on there. And I'm not going to use the actual name because we all know the creepy connotations attached with it. So I'm just going to call it an epidermis sprinter. We'll go with that. That's going to be its nickname. Epidermis sprinter. You got to keep an eye on your livestock in New Mexico. Otherwise, you might catch a chupacabra munching down on your livestock. And you might also catch these giant, creepy birds called teratorns, which are supposedly a vulture's ancestor, I guess. Did not know this, but I guess in the Las Cruces area, you can see these big honkin' birds flying around. And peep my glowing flying objects in the sky, because what kind of person would I be if I didn't include aliens in the New Mexico episode? I mean, Roswell? Enough said. There is another place that is popping up for some suspected alien activity. But first, let's enjoy this finished masterpiece. Mwaha. I mean, I say masterpiece, but it's all right. It came out all right. Now we can stare at it while I finish the episode. As I was saying before, Roswell is not the only place that has pretty decent alien activity, supposedly. Dulce is kind of like the new hotspot for alien activity, apparently, because they say that there is an underground base here that the aliens are working out of. And I guess they might also be working with the U.S. military. I don't know, but that would be interesting. I guarantee you there is probably some kind of like facility under the ground. If it's got aliens in it, I don't know. If you are more interested in the paranormal side of visiting New Mexico, then I got some good spots for you too, because you can visit Old Town Albuquerque, and it is supposedly streaming with ghost activity there. You can visit the New Mexico State Penitentiary. This place is actually home to like the worst prison riot in U.S. history. Back in 1980, 33 inmates died in a riot that broke out here, and now it is supposedly incredibly haunted. If you decide to go hike around, you can go hike Uraca Mesa, and this mesa, according to Native American legend, is the entrance to the demon world. What's even creepier is that when you view this mesa from different aerial views, it actually looks like a straight up human face. Again, really creepy. And to put the paranormal cherry on top of this cake, I had to put in La Llorona. If you don't know who that is, well, good for you, because my uncles love to tell this story to everybody in the family because it, is creepy as hell. It's a story about a woman who is dressed in white, tall, long, dark hair, and she got pissed off at her husband and drowned her kids. And so now she lures kids to like streams and running water and stuff to kill them. Really, really creepy. They made a movie about it a couple years back. I actually didn't watch the movie because, yeah, I knew it freaked me out. So I just did it. Maybe I will now. I guess I should. But yeah, anyway, hide your kids from La Llorona, because she'll get you. But that's all I got for today's episode. I think I covered everything. I got the paranormal, I got the monsters, I got the true crime. Finished the painting. I think we can call it a day on this one. Thank you guys so much for tuning in again, and hopefully it just keeps getting better and better. I still am trying to keep the episodes around 20 minutes or less. If you guys want more, I'll give you more, but for now, I'll just let you deal with me in small bursts so you don't get sick of me. But yeah, that's it. I will see you guys next time. Stay safe out there. Bye-bye.